Alright, we're on a launch party on a boat in Miami with the one and only Niles. First of all, thank you very much for having me here.
Of course, yeah.
Really appreciate it.
I
wanted to get a little bit of an insight because this is your first flanker.
Yeah, really.
What gave birth to this idea of having a flanker?
Well,
Thank you.
Miami has always been, the original Miami has always been so popular. And I've been on a mission to make something better or something that rivals it. But then I was like, you know what? I can just extend on the original and listen to some of the feedback from what people would change if I did make a flanker or add or take away. And this just became its own thing.
What did you decide to switch up on this one? If you had to describe it.
I wanted to use more naturals. In perfumery, you have to use synthetics and naturals. You know, they help each other. But I wanted to be more compliant, use more, how do you say it? More globally accepted perfumery notes.
So you can go global with this and be able to sell in a market everywhere and be compliant everywhere, not just in the States?
Yes.
Let me go back a step, because for those that don't know, what gave birth to the entire concept of being city-focused, city-based, and taking people on a journey through your perfumes versus making it more of a personal thing for them, making it something that takes them into your world and your travels? What gave birth to the entire concept of this?
I would say the perfume community gave birth to it because it started as just fragrance for myself to wear personally.
And this was only 2 years ago.
Yeah. And people started asking me, "Now, what are you wearing?" I was like, "Well, you know, it was made to remind me of my time working in New York City."
Ah.
And
so what was your first one? Was it Manhattan?
Manhattan. Yeah.
So Manhattan was your birth
Manhattan
child.
was the first one, and when I decided to start marketing it, and I decided to name it City Rhythm Manhattan, people started asking me, "Okay, when are you coming to my city?" So the idea wasn't in my head to do cities.
So it was
The ideas were born from a community.
The necessity is the mother of invention, so to say.
Yeah. You can say
How
that.
did you get into the entire perfume world? How did you start making perfumes? How did you dabble into it? And how did you dive into it?
I would say it chose me. A lot of this I did not plan, and I believe a lot of this is God's doing.
Are you planning any other flankers for any of the other cities?
I would, but I'm kind of overwhelmed right now with what I have already and trying to keep up with demands.
Is this something that in the future you might do, or are you more focused on doing new cities?
I'm more focused on doing new cities, but I'm trying to shift some focus into doing international cities.
What has been your favorite baby to create? Out of all of the ones, that you made?
It would have to be Manhattan.
Manhattan, because it's closest to your heart?
Yeah, it just started so pure and out of remembering how Manhattan made me feel when I had nothing. It lifted me up. You know, I would be scrubbing toilets, mopping floors, washing dishes,
and you lived in Manhattan at the time, or in the city?
I lived in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
But I worked in Manhattan for so long, back and forth, and just after the end of my workday, I come out and see the bright lights, tall buildings, busy people. The city is still alive. It made me forget how hard or whatever crappy job I was doing.
Take you into a world.
It took me into a world where I wanted to be. I wanted not the flashing lights, but the feeling of achievement.
What has been the most difficult part of this entire perfume journey for you? Kind of like behind the scenes that you didn't quite expect to experience, that took you for a little bit of a loop, that you didn't expect to jump a hurdle. What's been the most difficult hurdle to overcome?
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that I work alone most of the time. So I'm marketing, answering emails, packing, putting these labels on each bottle, filling the bottle up, sealing them.
You're more or less a one-man show.
Pretty much a one-man show, yeah.
If you had to change anything, would you put your resources into more products, or would you put your resources into getting more help and mass manufacturing so you can get it out into the global community more?
At this point, I'm looking to shift more into finding help and good help. Fulfillment centers or something that specializes in perfume that can help me, make this stuff, put it together. It's hard. It's just a lot of work.
How many perfumers do you work with?
Right now I have access to a ton more. When I started, it was just one or two. And I'm also learning perfumery myself.
So you're learning to get into the chemistry of it all and the actual the mixology of it all.
Because I want to understand the business from the ground up, not just like managing finances and sales and all that, but I want to know how a fragrance is structured from the ground up as well.
Would you ever consider doing anything that's not city-based and having a parallel or a brother or sister line for your company?
Well, I kind of do have that with the movement line, with the rhythm and pulse.
Do you plan on expanding in that direction as well?
Possibly, but I think one option I have is to collaborate with other brands.
With other brands? What do you think about collaborating with influencers or people that are not necessarily in the perfume community as far as manufacturing, but just have a passion for it? What's your take on that?
I'm open to it, but it has to be the right person in the right group, because it's hard to collaborate with someone who you're not on the same wavelength on or a similar mindset, because then it could be repulsive.
That's true. That's true. It can be divisive as well, and it's a little bit difficult to find. What do you see happening in the next year as far as launches? Do you have any new thoughts that you're putting out there kind of as teasers for anybody that you would like to kind of plant a seed right now?
Well,
something to look forward to?
As I mentioned, I am learning perfumery.
Yeah.
So I want to have at least one in my brand that I perfume from the ground up.
From the ground up. So if you like your signature, your signature stuff.
Perfumed by the creator, by the director, by the owner.
So from start to finish, all you.
All me.
How long do you think that's going to take for you to accomplish that?
Well, I have some really good mentors when it comes to learning the basics of perfumery. But I'm trying to zone into a particular genre. And that makes it easier because now they know how to guide me. So I'm taking classes from indie perfumers. Yeah. So I take Zoom calls and we chat all the time. It's a whole different world just to learn perfumery.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's
besides the business side, it's the artistic side of it, the chemistry side.
I commend perfumers who are perfumers in their own brand. I think indie brand perfumers who are the perfumers of the brand deserve a ton more credit than they get. Because just from the perfumery that I learned, the little bit that I learned, it's like a sea of things you need to learn. Yeah.
What about the community from all of the Facebook groups that you've had and the feedback? What's been the most valuable feedback that you've had from your fans, more or less? And even more so, sometimes the most, the best advice is almost from your frenemies or your critics. What has been the most impactful thing that you've learned from the community base that you've experienced?
I've learned I don't need to hire consultants. I just need to listen.
Just need to listen.
Listen to the trolls and the haters. Because in reality, they don't know that they're showing me my weak links.
Yeah.
And when they show me that, instead of reacting with anger, I react with adjusting and learning and adapting. Like, okay, maybe that makes sense. Maybe there's something there I need to shift or change or become better. But then there are some people who are just hateful. They just deserve to be ignored most of the times. But there's so many good people like yourself in the community that come out of nowhere and don't expect anything and just help because I don't know what you see in me, but you want to help me. You know what I mean?
If you smell something delicious and you find somebody who's earnest and passionate about what they do and goes down an alternative motive, that just underhanded. It's a pleasant surprise, and I'm very new to the community, but there's something about your brand that kind of sucked me in and brought me closer to wanting to know more. And I'm first of all, again, I can't say enough. Thank you for inviting me to the launch. I feel very privileged to be here. It's from the bottom of my heart.
It's a privilege that you guys say yes and come and hang out with
It's
me.
very nice. Very generous of you to have done this, and it's a beautiful night. And thank you for taking the time to do this. Reviews coming soon. Check this out. We got the full bottle over here. Does this come with the gold flakes option as well?
Yes.
Awesome. Guys, check this out. And a review coming soon. It is quite something to behold. Here in Miami, live for now. And thank you guys for tuning in, and hope to see you soon. Thank you, Niles, for taking the time to do this. Appreciate it. Bye, guys.